Have you ever felt as though life is rushing ahead, while you stand still, alone, and forgotten? You reach out for connection, yet the ties slip away, and the silence grows heavier. In those moments, it may feel as if Allah Himself is distancing you from people, from places, from everything familiar. But why? My beloved brothers and sisters, understand this. Isolation is not always a punishment. Sometimes, it is the greatest form of divine protection. When Allah chooses to set you apart, it is because He is preparing you, refining your soul, and guiding you toward a purpose beyond what you can see right now. Don't forget like, share, and subscribe our channel. In this journey, we'll uncover 7 powerful reasons why Allah isolates His chosen ones, hidden wisdoms that many overlook. So, before we begin, pause for a moment and reflect. What if this loneliness you carry is not abandonment, but a sacred call? Allah drawing you closer to Him, away from the distractions of the world. Let's dive deeper into why Allah isolates you, and how this solitude may, in fact, be the greatest blessing of your life. Point 1. Isolation to protect your heart. Have you noticed how easily your heart can be swayed when you're constantly surrounded by people? The endless conversations, the comparisons, the subtle influences, slowly, they creep in and begin to shape you. But sometimes, Allah pulls you away. Not to punish you, my dear brothers and sisters, but to protect your heart. Think of a rare gem. To preserve its shine, you don't leave it exposed. You guard it, shield it from scratches and dust. That gem is your heart. Allah sees its purity and its potential, and He knows that certain people or environments could stain it. Imagine being surrounded by friends or colleagues who quietly mock your deen, who encourage you to compromise little by little. At first, it seems harmless. But then, almost suddenly, those same people drift out of your life. At the time, it feels confusing, maybe even painful. But looking back, wasn't it Allah saving you from influences that could corrode your connection with Him? It's hard to see in the moment, but this distance is actually His mercy. It's a divine pause, a chance to reset, to purify, and to realign your heart solely with Him. Remember His words. So do not weaken and do not grieve, and you will be superior if you are true believers. Quran 3:139. Your loneliness is not emptiness. It's a sacred space Allah fills with His love, His guidance, and His peace. 2. Isolation to refine your character. Have you noticed how the world grows quieter when you begin working on yourself? The unnecessary chatter fades, certain people step aside, and the distractions slowly dissolve. Why? Because sometimes Allah removes the noise in order to refine you. When life is loud, full of opinions, expectations, and unhealthy attachments, you can't truly hear your own soul, let alone connect with Allah. But solitude strips away the layers. It forces you to face who you really are and what truly matters. And yes, it can be uncomfortable. In those still moments, you start to see the habits you've ignored, the flaws you've hidden, the weaknesses you've denied. But this discomfort is not a punishment, it's growth. Reflect on the example of our beloved Prophet Muhammad. Before revelation, he would retreat to the cave of Hira, alone with his thoughts, seeking clarity, seeking truth. That solitude wasn't empty. It was preparation to in the same way. Your isolation may be Allah preparing you for something greater. And yes, it can hurt when people who were once close begin to drift away. But not everyone is meant to walk your path. Some are seasonal companions, some are lessons wrapped in friendship, and when their role is complete, they move on. That's okay. Because the truth is, the pain of solitude is temporary, but the strength and clarity it brings can last a lifetime. It's in this stillness that you learn to lean fully on Allah, rather than the fragile approval of people. So, ask yourself, have you mistaken isolation as a sign of failure? In reality, it may be Allah's way of shaping you into the person He knows you can become. 3. Isolation strengthens your relationship with Allah. Have you ever felt that no matter how much you explain your struggles, no one truly understands you? The advice doesn't land, the comfort feels empty, and the loneliness lingers. This isn't random. It's a divine invitation. When Allah isolates you, it is His way of saying, "Come closer to me." In times of ease, we lean on people, family, friends, or even material comforts. But when those supports are stripped away, you're left with the one who has been there all along, Allah. Think about it. How many times have your most heartfelt duas, the ones made through tears, come from moments when you felt you had no one else? That's the beauty of isolation. It forces you into complete reliance on Allah, reminding you that He alone is enough. But let's be clear, this doesn't mean detaching yourself from the Ummah. Islam is about unity. The bond of believers is a strength. What we're talking about here is a personal journey, a spiritual refinement that allows you to return to your community with even greater purpose and strength. Look at the life of our beloved Prophet Muhammad. He faced moments of deep loneliness, whether in the cave of Hira, on the battlefields, or during the hardships in Mecca. Yet those moments weren't about division. They were preparation. From that solitude, he emerged with the clarity and strength to unite an entire ummah under the banner of La ilaha illallah. So, if you're feeling alone right now, remember, this isn't separation, it's strengthening. It's not withdrawal forever, it's recharging your faith. Because when your foundation with Allah is strong, your ability to uplift and unite others becomes far greater. For isolation is a training ground. Notice the pattern. Every time you're on the verge of growth, something or someone is removed from your life. That friend you thought would always be there, the support system you leaned on for years, gone. It hurts. But ask yourself why? Isolation isn't rejection, it's refinement. Allah removes attachments and distractions that could cloud your path. He is sharpening your focus, training you for a role you don't yet see. Think of Prophet Yusuf. Thrown into a well, cut off from his family, later confined to prison. On the surface, it looked like abandonment. But in reality, it was preparation. In those hidden moments of solitude, he was being molded into a man of extraordinary wisdom, patience, and leadership. By the time he emerged, he wasn't just Yusuf, he was Yusuf, the trusted minister of Egypt. And maybe, just maybe, your isolation is doing the same for you. The silence feels heavy. The loss of people stings. But remember, diamonds are formed under immense pressure, and the sharpest swords are forged in fire. Your struggles aren't breaking you, they're shaping you. Don't rush to fill the silence with empty connections or distractions Allah has already removed. Instead, sit with it. Look inward, and more importantly, look upward. Ask yourself, what is Allah teaching me here? Because when you come out of this phase, you'll realize something profound. Your solitude wasn't meant to weaken you. It was designed to train you. 5. Allah's plan requires patience. Have you ever felt like your life is on pause? Like you're waiting at a standstill while everyone else seems to be moving forward? It's frustrating, isn't it? But here's the truth. Allah's delay is not His denial. Sometimes, He places you in isolation because He's preparing you for something far greater than you can imagine. The waiting period isn't wasted time, it's part of the process. Think of a caterpillar. To become a butterfly, it must first endure the stillness of a cocoon. Your isolation works the same way. It's a phase of transformation, not stagnation. Take Prophet Musa as an example. Before leading Bani Israel, he spent years in the wilderness, herding sheep, far from the grandeur of Egypt. To others, it might have looked like a setback, but in reality, it was divine preparation. Those years of solitude shaped his patience, humility, and strength, preparing him for leadership. So ask yourself, what if the waiting is where Allah is working the most in your life? What if this time is for strengthening your faith, refining your character, and removing distractions that would have held you back? Patience doesn't mean doing nothing. It means actively trusting Allah's timing while building yourself, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, so that when the moment comes, you are ready to step into His plan. Remember, what feels like a delay is not neglect. It's design. The pause isn't punishment, it's preparation. 6. Isolation refines your intentions. Silence can feel heavy. Solitude can feel unbearable. And in those moments, you might question everything. But here's the hidden wisdom. Isolation purifies your intentions. When you're surrounded by people, their opinions and expectations can cloud your heart. Without even realizing it, you might start doing things for approval, validation, or applause. But when Allah pulls you away from that noise, He gives you space to reflect. Who am I really doing this for? People or Allah? Look at Prophet Ibrahim. Isolated from his people for standing firm in his belief, he didn't bend to win their approval. Instead, his solitude became the foundation of his strength. His only concern was pleasing Allah, and that's what made his faith shine so brightly. And the same is true for us. How often do we get trapped in performing for the world instead of our Creator? Ask yourself, if no one were watching, would you still pray with the same devotion? Would you still give charity? Would you still strive to better yourself? That's the gift of isolation. It strips away distractions and forces you to face your true sincerity. It's Allah refining your heart, teaching you to act purely for His sake, not for the fleeting praise of people. So, the next time you feel alone, remember, this solitude is polishing your soul. It's turning your actions into worship done with pure intention. And in that purity lies a power far greater than the approval of the world. 7. Isolation prepares you for your unique role. When Allah isolates you, it's never without purpose. That loneliness you feel, the silence you sit in, it's all part of His divine design to shape you for a mission only you can fulfill. Look at the story of Prophet Yusuf. Thrown into a well by his brothers, sold into slavery, unjustly imprisoned, his isolation was not meaningless. Every moment of solitude was training. Each hardship was preparation. By the time he emerged, he wasn't just Yusuf. He was a leader chosen by Allah to save nations from famine. His separation wasn't a curse. It was the foundation of his destiny. And what about you? Do you ever feel like your path is unlike anyone else's? That the weight you carry is invisible to the world, but so heavy on your heart? That's because your journey is unique. Allah isn't isolating you to break you. He's isolating you to prepare you for a role no one else can fulfill. Maybe you are being prepared to be the backbone of your family. Maybe you're meant to guide your community. Maybe you are being molded into someone whose story will inspire countless others. Remember this, the strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire. Your isolation is not punishment, it's a process, a sacred molding. Allah is whispering to your soul, I am making you ready for something greater. So when you feel cut off, remind yourself, this isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter where your strength, your faith, and your resilience will shine brighter than ever. My dear brothers and sisters, as we've discovered together, isolation is not punishment, it's preparation. Every tear, every sleepless night, every silent dua, it's not wasted. It's all part of Allah's wisdom, part of a greater plan to elevate you, refine you, and draw you closer to Him. Remember the Prophet Muhammad. In the stillness of the cave of Hira, away from the noise of society, he received the first revelation, the moment that transformed the world forever. If isolation was the womb of revelation for him, what might your solitude be preparing you for? So, the next time loneliness weighs on you, whisper this dua, Ya Allah, help me find strength in my solitude. Because sometimes that simple prayer is enough to not only strengthen you, but also inspire those walking the same path. Before you leave, I encourage you to explore the video suggested at the end of this one. It dives into another life-changing topic that beautifully complements what we've reflected on today. May Allah guide us, strengthen us, and make every trial a doorway to His mercy and closeness. Ameen. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.